Good morning, y'all, on this bright and sunny morning. Man, I'm still waking up. As long as the sun's out, I am happy. I don't care what temperature it is. I take that back. It cannot be freezing, below freezing, because then I won't be able to work. But as long as the sun's out and it's maybe it's a little bit chilly out, I'm happy about that. To me, it's southern. There's a lot of southern stuff going on over here. Not really used to it. We were at a restaurant yesterday, and we were talking about a whole bunch of stuff. We had some really good conversations. Get along real good with these guys. Today's my last day. I'm gonna show them a few more things before I get out of here. Got a 3.5 hour drive to get back. The Midwest Brick Doctor, baby! And then maybe even Jerry will come out and help us out, huh? See what's going on with these guys. I'm pulling up right now, and I'll catch you guys here in a second. These guys gotta keep their eyes and ears open. When you first start off, you're a laborer, and I would just back-to-back mix these. No mixer or anything like that. One of the guys I was working with, I was sending up the mortar, and he was getting pissed because I wasn't sending it up fast enough. And he sends down a bucket of his, poop. And I had to dump.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, and he's like, Mo, just go dump it over there in the sewer. I'm like, what? Like, well, this is disgusting. And I go and I start pouring in the sewer. And like it's just there, and he's like, just spray with the hose, And I'm spraying with the hose, and all you see is pieces of corn, and I'm like, oh man. You're working with each other every single day. You're bound to do stuff like that. You got to keep a laugh every day. We used to throw stuff at each other.
Hopefully not what was in that bucket.
Right? Yeah. No. Throw stuff at each other. Play funny music. Just do a whole bunch of fun stuff because you got to make it interesting. Because this work is not easy. It's not fun.
Some kind of pleasure, like
you have to.
Already, I'm like really good at wisecracking.
What's that?
Just like, insulting in a funny way.
Oh yeah, that's all we do all the time. That's some good mud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make my bed right here, throw them all in, hit them with the level, carry on. Make sure that's a good face right there. Ahí está. Make sure you get a nice head joint right there. Make sure we're nice and plumb, eyeball wise. Miss Lane brick, being off all season, it does suck because you're just sitting at home. This year I did get my CDL on the side, dry semi trucks and whatnot, but for some odd reason the trucking life just really it wasn't it. It really wasn't it. What I did was I finished my school probably about a month ago, and I figured, I'm not going to work for a month. It'll look bad on my resume, so next year I'll do that. But depending on how all this brick stuff goes, maybe I could figure something out for the winter for that. I'd rather do this than trucking. I just figured I'd have something to fall back on just in case. You never know what's going on these days. I was even hitting up Jerry a few days ago. I was like, come on, dude, just hire me for it, because he had a small job. I don't know how he gets these jobs in the wintertime, but he had a small job, and I was like, come on, dude, I'll even work for free. You know what I'm saying? So that's how desperate we get. That's how desperate we get to try to work. But don't get me wrong, this job does suck sometimes. There are some times to where I always say, I hate my job. I really do hate my job sometimes. That's not a lie, because you're not going to have every day that's going to come out smoothly or exactly how you want. There's always going to be some kind of issue to arise. Okay, there's that. We got to put a little header in, so I cut a little piece here. I'm going to put that in right there. This one guy, Rick, he gives me jobs sometimes, and he says, Mo, how come you don't go and start knocking on doors? When I first started my business back in the 70s or 80s, I forgot what decade that was, but he's like, Mo, when I first started, I would go out and pass out all these cards and knock on doors. I was like, yeah, Mo, but also at the same time, times are different. You can't be knocking on people's doors how it was, When someone knocks on my door, I'm gonna be like, who is this guy coming to my door? Let's see, 2 courses in, I'm about to put the 3rd. So looking pretty good, man. Chris did tell me if I need to use the bathroom, he said I could use this one right here. So I was like, all right, Chris, I don't mind taking a time machine back to the 50s or 70s, whatever that looks like. How is that a wooden toilet bowl? Good Lord. Oh man, it's like one whole piece. Look at this. What the? If anybody knows me, my favorite bathroom, right over there in them woods. I like to go just pop a squat right in between them trees over there and look at nature, look at all the birds and little ants climbing on the trees, stuff like that.
And that's what determines how much mortar it's sitting on, right? Because
it's always good to put more. So exactly how you see it here, it's always good to put more. And then if you need to, then you just put the level on like this. And what I do is I start on this side so I can meet that brick. I'll tap, 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 tap until the end hits that brick. And then I'll look here. Okay, I got to go a little bit more this way. And then I'll keep going. And then I'll just follow it. And it'll reach that one. Yeah, so. But a lot of this stuff is kind of a little bit uneven. So it's not going to be perfect.
yeah, the whole
but
building is wavy.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Well, actually, it's going up pretty fast. I can't say slowly but surely.
Don't call me Shirley. That joke is way overused.
Oh gosh. I actually never heard that one before.
It's that movie Airplane, right?
Oh man, guy named Sergio. He was a single guy, probably around like 45, 50 years old. And for the first day, he just takes me around, driving around for jobs, talking, getting to know him. He's got his dog right with him. It's a blue nose pit. We're driving around in the truck, going to look at, a few different jobs. And he looks at me and he says, asking me questions, my experience, whatever. And then he looks at me, he turns to me, he says, hey, I got a question. And I'm like, oh, what's the question? And he goes, have you ever seen a grown man naked? And I was like, what? I'm like quiet in the seat. At the time, I'm 17 years old. I'm looking over. I'm like, this guy, he could be, I don't know, he could be swinging like a barn door. I don't know what's going on. And after that point, I didn't know if I wanted to come back to the job site or not. So what I did was I went home and I went to go tell my old boss I was working for. I was like, yeah, I just started for the guy you sent me to. And he's saying all this weird stuff, and he starts laughing. He said it's from the movie Airplane, so I was like, "Oh, thank God!" So I still kept it up with that guy, So, but that scared me. It scared me. And then he turns over to me and says, "Hey, Junior, you know what? You got some really nice lips." I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Come on, dude." Yeah, it was messed up, but
that's pretty funny. Yeah,
that's
part, concept.
That's part of the trades, though. I'm gonna stop right there. I totally forgot to put brick ties in because the wall naturally has its own brick ties instead of metal galvanized. We're gonna use actual brick. Okay. So I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna put some in the middle. I'm gonna tie the front outer facade to the inner wall. This bond is a little bit different. It skips, so it'll be a header and then a regular and then a header and then a regular and then so on and so forth. Brick ties in because I did forget about them. But they're finally coming in. Sometimes you do forget, you talk too much. I'm gonna tie this inner wall to the middle, and then once we get up to height with the outer, then we'll tie the outer to the middle as well. What's going on, Bobby?
Same old, man.
Yeah?
You see how I got that floor down?
Yeah.
I'm gonna save a little extra too.
Learn and continue up to where the window sill should be at.
So you're like a master bricklayer now?
Yeah. My new mastery of masonry to continue up to where the windowsill is, but we'll save that for a different.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the if you want to be the model 60s woman or 50s woman, you gotta read that one.
There you go.
Ooh, this is a really nice Chicago common brick. That's a very good condition one. Oh yeah. Nice.
Right. So we can experiment with the bullshit.
Lefty.
Work our way up.
So right now we're teaching Chris how to tuck point. Kind of scratching my head a little bit here. I don't know what's going on. But he's doing an alright job. So yeah, so you're doing a little bit too much excess. Maybe you're not pushing too hard. Yeah, push a little harder. There you go. So now you got the mortar in there.
Okay.
So basically what you're gonna want to do now is do it flat.
Flat like this.
Exactly. So you're gonna put the hawk. So now you're tuck pointing the brick. So put the hawk exactly how we did in the beginning.
Okay.
Right up.
This?
No, a little higher. Yeah. and now you're gonna go flat with the joint. Right now you got a 45-degree angle, as flat as you can. There you go, like that. Okay, now leave that alone.
Leave that alone.
Like that, okay? And then we're gonna go, yeah, you can either go up to the side or go up to the top. But whenever we're tuck pointing, go right to left.
Right.
So start on this side and go that way. If you were gonna do it like that. I just thought that you were gonna do it like this, but like right here, you would start here and then work your way that way.
Oh, I see. I thought you had to move my hand right to left. No.
Yeah. This is never gonna be perfect. I'm telling you, you should have seen me when I first started. It was horrible. So now here is your head joining tool. This is not the same as far as putting the hawk to the wall. So what you have to do is kind of angle your hawk a little bit like that.
Okay.
And then try to scoop it up with that. It's gonna fall off your trowel on the backside.
Where am I pushing it to? What am I doing here?
So let me give
Okay.
a little bit of a demonstration here.
Okay.
So me, I like to play around it a little bit. For some odd reason, I don't know, it's just a habit. But I'll go like this, like that.
Oh, okay.
Put it in.
Oh, I gotcha.
But that's why it's important to do a little bit of a stickier mix. How we do it 2 1/4 to 1. Because if you do it too sandy, then what's gonna happen is the mortar's gonna fall right off your tool. You see how it can stick like that?
Yeah.
So give that a roll.
So
there you go. Okay. You know, sometimes you don't want to. It's better to do a little bit at a time. It's never. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, but it's just the muscle memory that I have. Okay. Yep. This is your building at the end of the day. You do what you want, man. I ain't gonna tell you nothing.
I got a plan.
I'm not telling him nothing. However he wants to do it, if he wants to smear it on with his hand, hey, by all means, he can do that.
Okay. All right. So I just made a mess. Though.
So that's fine. Like I say, it'll goes off, into the brushing because this is a very smooth face. So you're not gonna get too much into it. And then also we're gonna need an acid wash this for sure. But me personally, I would go this way like that.
Down.
Yep.
Because you're gonna go with the
there you go.
Right?
That's perfect right there. Okay, that's perfect right there.
Yeah, that's a good looking joint.
Yeah. So now. So now once you have that in, what we will do is go ahead with the striker. But with the striker, we'll hit the head joints first, and then our beds. So you can try that now. You can put that down.
Okay.
Try that out.
So the head joints is this
head
one,
joints
right?
like that.
This is just a piece of metal, right?
Yeah.
Just a pipe.
Yeah, and when we do it, we don't try to dig too much with the tip. It's more so try the heel.
Whole length.
The heel.
Okay.
Yeah. Because otherwise you could rip it out. So yeah, head joints, and then bed joints. So now you come this way because if you go that way, then you're gonna rip it out. Exactly. There you go.
Huh. And then. Just
that
leave
one.
the extra stuff.
Exactly, yep.
It'll brush, right?
Yep. That.
Okay.
Okay, now the top one. And then the next thing that you do, in the sense, say that we have waited a little bit of time and this has started to dry a little bit, which it's not ready right now. But what you will do is we'll come with the tip of the trowel right about this height of the brick and right at the bottom.
Just enough to catch it.
To get the ears. We call the ears off the brick. Get all the excess off. This is important now. Wow, man. Really?
It's important.
Come on, Bob.
Bob got nervous when you said it was important.
Oh,
Bob!
So yeah, so it's important that we do wait to make sure that this dries, and then we'll brush at a 45-degree angle. In order to get all the excess off of the brick. Now you're still going to see like this sheen that I'm talking about here,
right? And
that's what the muriatic acid is gonna take off.
And that's a couple days later.
A couple days later, minimum 72 hours. If you do it any sooner than that, then you can weaken the mortar, or it's not going to clean correctly. So yeah, here you have it, guys. I'm leaving. I'm showing these guys how to do it. Hopefully they can do it. So I'm looking forward to the next video on how this is all going to turn out. I want to see his project with the brickwork that I did back there.
Yeah, next
see
time
how that all turned out.
This thing's going to look amazing.
Yeah, let's see it. Maybe you're going to grind and tuck point the entire
or it's
front.
going to look exactly like it does right now.
Yeah. So we'll see.
50-50. Let's find it.
We got another apprentice going right here, left to right. Yeah, he's got it. Left to right is the way. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I'm supposed to go right to left, aren't I?
However you want to do it, brother. Go ahead. However you want to do it.
So he was showing me that you could put that trowel like right up to
Yeah,
the
so-
edge.
Catch it.
So we
okay.
call that boarding. But it's actually nice that we're doing this right in the front too. You know, practice right in the front of the building. You know, yeah,
Maybe we
yeah.
better go to the back. Chris.
So, but yeah, this is it. Adios, guys. I don't know when I'm gonna be here next, but hopefully soon. Maybe next winter when I have some time, or whenever I have some time off, then
Yeah, that'd be
I
awesome.
can come. I can come. You know, so help out. But yeah, I'll catch you guys. Thank you.